The first article of the Declaration of Human Rights claims that all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. Just before I start this talk, I'd like to say that I'm not a total feminist. On my own, I've noticed that there are certain judgments and issues that women and girls just let slide or don't even notice at all. For example, issues like the way working women on average don't make as much as men. I think we let these facts just slide because women do a lot of things. We have so much opportunities. We have women that work in the government. We have women working as doctors. We have women in the military. Yeah, we have a lot going on. If we look at how far women, not even just women, homosexuals and African Americans have come today, we think to ourselves, oh man, we've come so far as a nation. But I'm talking in the perspective of someone who's been born and raised in the US. There are different countries and regions out there that probably treat women, homosexuals, and their minorities differently. It's agreed, though, that there are certain rights that just should come naturally to anyone, women included. Simple things like health, safety, and right to speech, as equally as men do. We'd expect any country to provide these natural rights to men and women. But if one actually widens their perspective of all women and citizens of the world, one's attention may be caught in how less fortunate third world countries treat their women. Haiti, for example. We may remember the tragic earthquake that happened a while back. It happened 5 years ago, January 12th of 2010. I remember I was still in elementary school when I first saw the news reports on TV. The one thing I kept asking myself while the news was so fresh was, how are they going to handle all this disaster? What's going to be the after results? Apparently, women of Haiti don't live as long as men do. They only live up to the age of 62 and a half on average, which is definitely not too long because, women here live up to their late 80s or early 90s. Sometimes they're hundreds. Haiti's government pays less attention to the medical needs of women than men. So that means there are barely any resources for women. And since there are barely any resources for women, many women undergo miscarriages. There are exactly 57 per thousand miscarriages happening. Not providing as much medical aid to women is definitely degrading because everyone deserves right to life and right to health. If we look at the government in America compared to the one in Haiti, it's definitely different because Haiti does not treat women as fairly as America does, because America doesn't only just provide as much medical aid, they provide things like financial aid towards single mothers, and they have this law where dads have to help pay for the mom if they're divorced, and the mom has full custody of the kid. There is health problems for women in Haiti, but there's also problems of violence against them, which is a hard problem to address because it actually was thought as a pride thing. Because not too long ago, in the 90s, actually, women were systematically raped by men of political power to ensure that power. Since the earthquake, there's less shelter and less security provided. Since there's less security and shelter for women, women in these camps and stuff are left vulnerable for violence, and it's not likely to be reported because laws against sexual violence and assault are still waiting for approval. Clearly, sexual violence and assault is degrading. Proves that Haiti is still, you know, developing in many ways so, to make women equal.